ages. Thank you. You may be seated. Hi, Ethan. We are having our Veterans Day program today, but I'm confused. Who is a veteran? Veterans are people who served in the military U.S., Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard in times of war and peace. Who do you know is a veteran? Maybe it's your mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandfather, grandmother, cousin, neighbor, or teacher. There are over 23 million Americans who are veterans today, so you can meet them anywhere. You might have friends or family who are veterans you just didn't know. You can be very proud of them. Many have given much to keep us safe and free. Today we would like to honor Mr. James Merrill for his service in the military. James Merrill was born on May 15, 1926. He grew up in Midland, Texas. His first childhood memories take place with his family living in Haiti during the Great Depression. Mr. Merrill graduated high school on a Friday in May of 1944. The next Monday, just 3 days later, he reported for active duty in the Navy. He decided to volunteer while he was in high school before he was drafted. He even received a graduation card from his brother-in-law congratulating him on graduating and encouraging him to serve in the military. Mr. Merrill received part of his training at Camp Wallace, Texas. He set sail toward Japan on the USS St. George, a ship that maintained airplanes. The planes would land on the water, and a large crane would pick up the planes to bring them onto the ship.
On May 6, 1945, the USS St. George was hit by a kamikaze pilot. Over 25 people were injured during this attack. Notes from the captain said, almost before the sound of the explosion died away, the repair parties were at work. After Japan surrendered, Mr. Merrill returned to Camp Wallace for discharge. He then returned to his parents' home in Midland. He arrived home around 10 in the morning. His father came home that afternoon and told him he had read his letters of the paid vacation he had been on, and it was time to go back to work.
So Mr. Merrill went to work in the oil field in Maryland. He met Edna Knights at church, and they were married on June 24, 1951. He went to college at Sol Ross and Murray College here in Abilene. While at Memorial, he was a pastor at Potosi, Methodist Church. He then went to seminary in Denver, Colorado. Mr. Merrill has served many churches from Nebraska and Texas, including churches here in Abilene. He retired as a full-time pastor at Potosi Methodist Church, but has continued by preaching, making many visits to nursing homes, helping people in hospice care, and for his says he has been blessed to serve over the years. Mr. Merrill now lives with his wife in Snyder, Texas. They celebrated their 61st anniversary this June. They have 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and 11 great-grandchildren. Mr. Merrill, we would like to say thank you for your service to our country in the United States Navy. Frank Bronabach was born on January 16, 1918 near Temple, Texas. Born in a Tech family, he had to learn English during his childhood. Mr. Bronabach moved to Sweetwater as a young adult to work as a ranch hand. Mr. Bronabach met Nell Button in 1940 at a Halloween carnival. They were married on February 10, 1942. On February 16, just 6 days after being married, Mr. Bronabach left for the service. He volunteered in the United States Army before he was called so he could choose where he could go. He went across the United States for different training from Fort Hood to Chemical, Wisconsin. He even spent time harvesting grain in North Dakota. He was trained as a gunner on the MX-10 tank destroyer. Mr. Bronabach was assigned to the 6th Soldier Tank Destroyer Battalion in 3rd Army. He landed on Omaha Beach, France on August 26, 1944. He remembers taking foxholes to sleep in those nights. They would cook for themselves and use their helmets to hold water to wash and change.
On November 12, 1944, Mr. Bronabach was wounded when his tank was hit with shells from a German tank. A staff sergeant tried to carry him after being wounded. The 4th Armored Tank picked him up and took him to the medic. He had surgery in Nancy, France for his injuries due to the explosion. They moved Mr. Bronabach to Paris, then flew him to England, where he recovered. After 100 days, he returned to battle.
Mr. Bronabach recalls being excited when Germany surrendered. After the war was over, his group took a tour of Europe and then came back to the United States. A band played welcoming the soldiers into port. They were fed a steak dinner. Mr. Bronabach was a recipient of numerous awards, which included a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star for his service. His train trip home was delayed when he had to have emergency surgery to remove his appendix. Mr. Bronabach returned to his wife on Christmas Day 1945. They stayed with their parents until he recovered from his appendix surgery. Then they moved into their house where they still live today. Mr. Bronabach has been farming and ranching in Taylor County since returning from the war. He was able to attend a school for farmers provided by the GI program. He has harvested cotton, wheat, and hay, and raised sheep and cattle throughout these years. In 2007, he was named Taylor County Farmer of the Year. He has been the Sunday school director at Pioneer Memorial Church in Woolbury, Kansas for at least 50 years. He said his time in service made him have a stronger belief in God. Mr. and Mrs. Bronabach have 2 children, 4 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren. They celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary this February. Mr. Bronabach said he had a duty to save the future of a free country and learned that life is precious during his time in the Army. Mr. Bronabach, we would like to say thank you for your service to our country in the United States Army.
At this time, we would like to thank and honor the brave men and women who have faithfully served our country. From the Revolutionary War to today, over 1.3 million Americans have given their lives serving this nation. During World War II alone, over 16 million men and women served defending our country and the millions of people across the world facing uncertain times. Today, we have over 2 million active and reserve military personnel. We ask that all active and veterans please stand as we honor you and thank you for your service.
America.
Thank you for attending our program today. Have a wonderful afternoon and God bless America.
Well, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I don't know what would. That is precious to see all these young voices giving honor to our veterans and our active military families. And we just appreciate so much letting you, for allowing us to honor you today. This was a dream and a vision of one of our teachers, Mrs. Megan Oliver. Mrs. Oliver. Years ago, we've been doing it for several years, but she wanted to recognize some of our veterans and military families before it was too late, and we appreciate your attendance here today. Thank you so much for coming, and for our military families, for our veterans, we have some refreshments in the library that we hope you'll enjoy, and have a good afternoon. Thank you for coming.